Imagine this small, quiet moment. Your alarm goes off. You open your eyes. For a second, before memory returns, everything is blank. Then a question appears in the background of your mind, even if you never say it out loud. Why should I get up today? The Japanese word ikigai lives in that moment. In Japanese, iki means to live, or simply life. Gai comes from a word meaning value or worth. Together they point to the worth of living, the thing that makes being alive feel meaningful, especially today. Not in some distant future, not in some perfect version of you, but now. People often show ikigai as a diagram of 4 overlapping circles. What you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, what you can be paid for. Where they meet, they write ikigai. This picture is neat and satisfying, but it is not how most Japanese people actually experience the word. In real life, ikigai is softer and more ordinary. Your ikigai might be caring for a grandchild. It might be your garden. It might be morning coffee and a few minutes of silence. It might be your work, your art, your faith, your friendships, your dog, your students. It does not have to be huge or impressive. It can be as simple as, I want to see how this day unfolds. Ikigai is not something you solve like a puzzle. It is more like a feeling that grows between you and your life. A quiet inner yes that makes you willing to meet another day. Outside Japan, ikigai is often used as a tool for big success. Find your ikigai and build your dream career. Find your ikigai and transform your life. But if you walk through an ordinary Japanese neighborhood, it has a very different mood. You don't see people announcing their life mission. You see someone sweeping the street in front of their house. You see an old man chatting with a shopkeeper he's known for decades. You see a woman tending to her plants by the door. On the surface, nothing special is happening. Inside those repeated simple actions, ikigai is quietly alive. In many Western stories, happiness is a big event. The promotion, the dream house, the perfect partner, the big breakthrough. Life before that is a waiting room. Traditional Japanese sensibility is more in love with the everyday. The worn wooden table, the cracked cup repaired with care, the faint sound of rain, the same route walked for years. Ikigai fits with this. It says, your reason for living does not need to be large to be real. A man whose ikigai is his family may ride a crowded train to do a modest job every day. From the outside, his life looks ordinary. From the inside, it is held together by a simple truth. I am doing this for them. A grandmother's ikigai may be cooking for her grandchildren. An old shopkeeper's ikigai may be serving the same neighbors year after year. A younger person's ikigai might be writing, drawing, practicing music after work, even if no one recognizes it yet. Ikigai often grows inside roles: parent, child, neighbor, co-worker, volunteer, elder. In that cultural frame, who you are is strongly connected to how you stand in relation to others. Your ikigai is woven into these places where you are needed. Ikigai lives in that understanding. It does not promise that your source of meaning will last forever. Children grow up, parents age, jobs change, bodies weaken. Ikigai does not deny this. It says instead, because nothing is guaranteed, this moment is precious. So ikigai is not about waiting for a perfect later. It is about doing your best with the life you actually have. This body, this age, these people, these limits. Even when life cannot be redesigned from scratch, something in it can still be lived with care and devotion. In this sense, ikigai is not about escaping ordinary life. It is about being fully inside it. To understand how Ikigai makes you happy, it helps to divide happiness into two layers. The first layer is pleasure. The second layer is meaning. Pleasure is the nice feeling in the moment. Good food, a joke, a soft bed, a warm bath. There's nothing wrong with it, but it does not last long. It is like a spark. Meaning is the sense that your life fits together in a way that makes sense to you. It is the feeling that your efforts and your pain are connected to something that matters. Meaning is like a slow-burning coal. It keeps you warm from the inside. Ikigai lives mostly in this second layer. A parent staying awake at night with a sick child may not feel happy in the simple, cheerful sense, but deep inside they know, I want to be here. This matters. This is part of who I am. That is a kind of happiness, not light and easy, but real and solid. Ikigai also brings something like flow. Flow is when you are so absorbed in an activity that you lose track of time. You are not thinking, how do I look? What do they think of me? You are simply doing the thing. It might be cooking, writing, teaching, coding, cleaning, gardening, listening to someone, fixing something, creating art. Ikigai often lives in these moments of deep engagement. Even if they only last an hour, they leave a trace. Afterwards, you feel, that felt right, that felt like me. Over time, those traces build a quiet sense of fulfillment. Ikigai also shapes your sense of who you are. The world often tells you, you are what you have, or you are what others think. If you believe that, your self-worth becomes fragile. One failure or one insult can shake you badly. Ikigai suggests another foundation. You are what you give yourself to. If you see yourself as someone who cares for others, or someone who creates, or someone who protects, or someone who learns and shares, you start to carry an inner statement like, I am someone who helps others grow. I am someone who brings beauty to small things. I am someone who supports and protects. This identity does not depend entirely on success or praise. It comes from the way you live, not only from the results. That brings a gentle self-respect that is more stable than praise. Ikigai also reduces loneliness. Humans suffer when they feel useless or invisible. When your Ikigai connects you to others, children, family, friends, students, patients, customers, neighbors, you become a part of a living network. If you didn't show up, something real would be missing. Finally, Ikigai changes how you see the ordinary. Without meaning, daily life can feel like a gray repetition. Same morning, same tasks, same faces. With Ikigai, those same scenes have a different taste. The commute becomes your road to contribution. The kitchen becomes the place where you express love. The tools you use, the messages you send, the routines you keep, they become part of your purpose. You start to notice small, quiet joys, a shared joke, a familiar smell, the comfort of routine, the satisfaction of finishing a task with care. Gratitude appears more naturally, not forced, not as a duty, but as a soft thought that comes on its own. I'm glad I get to do this. Ikigai doesn't erase pain, stress, or sadness. Life remains life, but it gives you a sense of direction inside all of that. You are not just enduring time, you are participating in something that for you is worth the effort. Now, how does all of this connect to living longer? Interestingly, this is not only a philosophical idea. Researchers have actually tried to measure it. In Japan, large long-term studies have asked people simple questions like, do you have Ikigai, a sense that your life is worth living? They then followed these people for years. watching who stayed healthy, who became disabled, and who died. Again and again, they found that people who said they did not have Ikigai had a higher risk of earlier death, especially from heart-related causes and some external causes like accidents. People who reported Ikigai tended to live longer and maintain better physical function as they aged. Outside Japan, researchers used other words like purpose in life, but found something very similar. People with a stronger sense of purpose in life generally had lower risk of death from any cause, lower risk of major heart problems, better overall aging outcomes. Some studies also show that having a strong sense of purpose is linked to better mental health and lower risk of depression, especially in older adults. Even more interesting, several large studies suggest that people with a strong sense of purpose may have a lower risk of cognitive decline and dementia. They tend to stay mentally sharper longer. None of this proves that Ikigai magically causes long life. These are correlations, not exact formulas, but together they suggest a pattern. People who feel their life has meaning and who live in line with that meaning tend to live longer and age better in body and mind. Why might this be? First, stress. When life feels meaningless, stress feels like pure burden. When life feels meaningful, stress can be experienced as effort for something important. This doesn't remove the difficulty, but it changes how the body processes it. Chronic harmful stress is reduced when you believe your struggle serves a purpose. Second, habits. We all know we should eat well, move our bodies, sleep enough, stay socially connected. But to actually keep doing these things year after year, you need a reason that feels real. If your Ikigai includes being there for family, caring for others, or continuing a project you love, you have a natural motivation to take care of yourself. You are more likely to go for a walk, cook decent food, take your medicine, see the doctor, stay engaged in activities. These small choices, repeated over decades, shape your health. Third, nervous system balance. Feeling useless, empty, or hopeless can keep your nervous system stuck in fear, anxiety, or collapse. A sense of Ikigai gives your nervous system an orientation. We are moving towards something that matters. That makes it easier for your body to come back to a calmer baseline after stress. Fourth, brain engagement. When you have reasons to live, you are more likely to keep your mind active and your social world alive. You talk to people. You solve problems. You learn new skills. You remember dates, names, stories. All these things are known to support brain health and delay decline. So Ikigai does not work instead of healthy habits. It works through them. Meaning quietly shapes your daily choices. Those choices support your body and mind. Over time, this often shows up as longer, healthier life. But there is an important philosophical detail here. The real gift of Ikigai is not extra years. It is that however many years you have, they feel worth living. Longevity without meaning can become an extended emptiness. Longevity with Ikigai becomes a deeper chance to live out your values, to love, to give, to learn, to simply be present. Now the question turns back to you. How do you explore your own Ikigai without turning it into pressure? First, remember, you are not an empty shell waiting for a purpose to be installed. You already have small reasons to live, even if you don't call them Ikigai yet. The task is not to invent meaning, but to recognize it and give it space. You can start with 3 simple questions. 1. What do I quietly look forward to? Not what you think you should enjoy, Not what looks impressive, just what you actually look forward to. It might be talking with one specific person, reading, cooking, playing a game, working on a project, caring for someone, walking alone, listening to music. 2. When do I feel most like myself? Think of moments when you feel natural and whole, not divided inside. Maybe when you are explaining something, fixing something, making art, organizing things, being with children, being in nature, solving problems, making others laugh. These are clues to where your Ikigai is hiding. 3. Who or what would truly miss me if I were gone? This could be people, animals, plants, projects, communities, places. Where does your presence make a real difference, even in a small way? You do not need perfect answers. Even vague answers matter. They are like paths lightly traced in the grass. It also helps to see the difference between small Ikigai and big Ikigai. Big Ikigai is the long arc, a life project, a calling, a deep commitment that stretches over decades. Not everyone has one that feels clear. That is okay. Small Ikigai is local and daily. It answers the question, what makes today worth getting up for? It might be finishing something you started. It might be being kind to someone who is struggling. It might be feeding the cat. It might be writing one page. It might be practicing an instrument for 20 minutes. From the outside, these things may look trivial. From the inside, they are what keep your inner life moving. Over time, many big purposes grow out of years of small purposes. A person who has quietly helped others for years may realize they have become a counselor or mentor in a deep sense. Someone who has gardened every day may see that caring for plants is a central part of their life meaning. Respecting small Ikigai is crucial. It is the ground on which any big Ikigai stands. Your Ikigai is also allowed to change. At different ages, different things will matter most. Life events, birth, loss, illness, migration, crisis, may break old purposes and demand new ones. If you cling to one fixed idea of your purpose, you may suffer more than necessary. It can be kinder to say, that was my Ikigai for that chapter of my life. I honor it. Now I am in a different chapter. What calls to me here, with who I am now? Underneath all these shifts, often there is a stable tone. Maybe your life has always been about caring, or creating, or understanding, or protecting, or connecting. The outer form changes, the inner flavor remains. Most important of all, do not turn Ikigai into another reason to feel inadequate. If you think, I must find my one true purpose or I am nothing, you have already moved away from the spirit of Ikigai. Ikigai does not say, earn your right to exist. It says, you are here. Let us see what makes this life worth living for you and for those your life touches. You can begin very simply by noticing. Notice when your body feels quietly right. Notice what you are willing to protect, even when you are tired. Notice what you keep returning to, year after year. Then, gently, give those things a little more space, a bit more time, a bit more care. No big announcement needed. Over time, you may realize that your Ikigai was not something far away. It was always close, waiting to be recognized. At the deepest level, Ikigai is about freedom, not freedom from all problems, but freedom within your life. The usual story about freedom says, you'll be free when you have enough money, status, safety, admiration. Until then, your life is incomplete. In that story, freedom is always somewhere else. Ikigai tells a different story. It starts right where you are and asks, What makes your life worth living now, even before it is perfect? When you live from that question, your sense of worth moves from the outside to the inside. You may still seek success, comfort, recognition, but they are no longer the only measure of your value. Your value is also in how you show up, how you care, how you act, what you give yourself to. This is where success and aliveness separate. Success is always relative. You are successful compared to someone or compared to some standard that keeps changing. It can disappear quickly. Aliveness is different. It is not measured by comparison. It is measured by how fully you inhabit your own life. You can be outwardly successful and feel dead inside. You can be outwardly ordinary and feel deeply alive. Ikigai invites you to choose aliveness. It asks, would you rather look impressive but feel empty, or look simple but feel that your days are genuinely yours? It is not against achievement, it just refuses to trade your inner life for appearances. There is one more radical idea in Ikigai: living as if your life already has value. Many of us live under a hidden rule. I will be worthy if I achieve this, fix that, gain their approval. Until then, we feel half legitimate, half fake. Ikigai starts from another place. You are already here. You are already affecting other lives just by existing. The question is not whether you deserve to be alive, but how you want to live this given life. You can spend your energy fighting your own existence. Or you can turn toward it and say, I am here. I will try in my own limited way to live this life with care and truth. When you do that, even in small ways, you are already living as if your life has value. You are already treating your days as something worth shaping, not just surviving. The outer world may or may not reward you. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. But there is a kind of inner dignity that grows from this stance, and it does not depend entirely on external success. In the end, Ikigai is simple. It is the quiet sense that if this day were your last, the way you are living would still make some kind of sense to you, even if it's imperfect, even if it's small, even if no one is watching. It is the ability to say on an ordinary morning, I am glad I am still here to do this. Not someday, not once everything is fixed. Now. And perhaps the most honest question you can ask yourself in the spirit of Ikigai is not, what is the ultimate purpose of life? But, what for me makes it worth being alive today?